talent was looking busy while doing absolutely nothing. Wow, 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 Grimsby mimicked, his voice rising to a shrill peak. Luxury Neuralink silk belts? You're telling me the sector nurses are demanding high-fashion neural connectors, and you're standing here asking me for a requisition form? If they need their silk belts, you snap to it. Shake a hover leg, man. Do you realize we are at war with the Nebula Syndicate? But sir, the officer stammered, the logistics. Logistics be damned. Grimsby slammed his fist onto the desk, accidentally activating a holographic projection of a clogged sewage pipe. Look at this. The waste converters in the petty officer's lounge are backing up again. What do they expect me to do? I'm the director of Astra Sector, not a master plumber. My stomach acid could melt through the hull of a dreadnought. The door hissed open, and Lieutenant Elroy, the weasel carpenter, scurried in, looking like a man who had just swallowed a live battery. Sir, message from High Command. High Commissioner Stone is arriving today. A sneak inspection. Grimsby turned a shade of grey that matched the island's volcanic ash. Commissioner Stone? Iron Pants Stone? The man who demoted his own mother for having a dusty mantelpiece? Here? Now? He looked around his office. It was a mess of half-eaten nutrient bars and frantic paperwork. He looked out the window, at the Rogue Squad's docking bay, where Commander Jax, the Fox Sterling, was currently hosting what looked like a barbecue on the deck of a multi-million credit stealth interceptor. I can't face him, Grimsby whispered. If I'm here, I'm responsible for Sterling and his band of space pirates. But if I were sick, incapacitated, I could appoint an acting director. A slow, wicked smile spread across Grimsby's face. Carpenter, call the medbot. I feel a sudden, violent, and entirely convenient bout of space flu coming on. And get me Commander Sterling. I'm going to give him exactly what he wants. Total control of this base. By the time Commissioner Stone is done with him, Sterling will be cleaning plasma vents on a prison colony for the next 50 years. Chapter 2. The Fox takes the helm. Commander Jax Sterling was a man of leisure, tactical genius, and questionable ethics. When he was summoned to Grimsby's deathbed, he found the director draped in a thermal blanket, groaning with the theatricality of a dying opera singer. Sterling, Grimsby wheezed, the base. It's yours. I'm appointing you acting director, and your bumbling second-in-command, Lieutenant Pippin Pringle, will be your executive officer. Pippin, a man whose clumsiness was statistically impossible, accidentally saluted so hard he knocked over the director's IV stand. Oh boy! Thanks, director. You won't regret this. I know I won't. Grimsby smirked into his pillow as they left, back at the Rogue Squad's headquarters. The transition of power was instantaneous. All right, boys, Sterling shouted to his crew. The director's in the tank, and the base is ours. Full speed ahead on the Astrale distillery. Sullivan, get the holographic poker tables running. But, Skipper, Pippin squeaked. Details. Pippin. Details. Sterling laughed. We're the Rogue Squad. We don't fix pipes. We fix problems with style. Within hours, the Isle of Astra had transformed. The tactical briefing room was now a high-stakes lounge. The radar technicians were using their long-range scanners to track migratory space whales for a betting pool, and Slick Sullivan had managed to acquire a shipment of the legendary silk neural belts, which he was currently selling to the nurses at a 400% markup. Chapter 3. The Archduke and the Hologram Harem. The chaos was interrupted by a high-priority transmission. An Archduke from the Nebula Realm, Valerius III, was forced to make an emergency landing on Astra. He wasn't alone. He traveled with his 3 daughters, the princesses of the Rim, and a mountain of priceless luggage. Sterling, ever the diplomat, greeted the Archduke with a charm that masked the smell of moonshine on his breath. Your Highness, welcome to the Astra Outpost. I am Acting Director Sterling. My crew is at your total disposal. The Archduke, a man with a beard so long it required its own gravitational field, looked suspicious. Are these men to be trusted with my daughters? We travel with the crown jewels of the rim. Trusted? Sterling gasped, clutching his heart. They are the finest officers in the Federation. Pippin, show the princesses to their quarters. And keep your hands off the royal artifacts. But Pippin had already fallen in love, specifically with Princess Ciri, while Sterling tried to distract the Archduke with a tour of the base's advanced and mostly non-functional weaponry. Pippin was busy trying to impress the princess with his knowledge of plasma pistol nomenclature. And this, Pippin said, blindfolded to show off his skills, is the firing pin of a Mark IV. Watch as I disassemble it in 3 seconds. Instead of the firing pin, Pippin accidentally pulled the emergency release on a nearby hover shuttle. The princesses giggled, but the Archduke was less than amused. Meanwhile, Director Grimsby was watching everything through a hidden camera in the medical bay. Stone will be here any minute to see Sterling in the middle of a diplomatic disaster. Chapter 4. The Euphoria Vapor Incident. Grimsby's plan faced a minor hitch. He actually did have a toothache. He was forced to visit the base's robotic dentist. Sterling, seeing an opportunity to help the director, sent Slick Sullivan to assist. The director needs a little something to take the edge off, Sterling whispered to Sullivan. Something that makes him agreeable. Sullivan returned with a tank of Euphoria vapor, the futuristic equivalent of laughing gas. When Commissioner Stone finally arrived in his black armored shuttle, he didn't find the base in shambles. He found Sterling and his men standing in a perfect, albeit slightly swaying, line of honor. Sterling, Stone barked, his eyes like cold flint. Where is Director Grimsby? Where is Director Grimsby? Right here. Steel gaze, a voice chirped. Grimsby emerged from the medical wing, floating on a repulsor chair, wearing a Hawaiian shirt and clutching a bouquet of plastic flowers. He looked at the terrifying commissioner and let out a high-pitched giggle. Oh, look at you. Grimsby laughed, poking the commissioner's stern chest. You're so serious. You need a hug, Steel Gaze. Doesn't he need a hug, Chucky Wucky? He patted Sterling on the head. Stone was frozen in shock. Director, are you intoxicated? I'm happy, Grimsby squealed. The princesses are dancing in the air raid shelter. The waste converters are making the most beautiful music. Everything is bubbles and rainbows. Sterling stepped forward, looking somber. It's tragic, Commissioner. The stress of the war. The director has been having these hallucinations. He thinks there are hula dancers in the bunker. It's combat fatigue of the highest order. I am not tired, Grimsby shouted, before trying to use the Commissioner's medals as a makeshift xylophone. I'm a swinger. I'm a cosmic butterfly. Stone turned to Sterling. Commander, it seems you are the only sane man on this rock. Continue your command. I shall deal with this butterfly personally. Chapter 5. Barnaby the Bionic Beast. Just as Sterling thought he was in the clear, a new crisis emerged. The base's digital payroll, a drive containing 62,000 untraceable Federation credits, went missing. Grimsby, having finally come down from his Euphoria vapor high, was furious. He knew he had been tricked and was determined to pin the theft on Pippin. I dropped my credit wallet right here, Grimsby screamed in the middle of the base square. And now it's gone. Lieutenant Pringle was seen in the vicinity. I want a full tribunal. However, the thief wasn't the man. It was Barnaby, a genetically modified, 3-meter-long bionic reptile that served as the squad's unofficial mascot. Barnaby had a taste for synthetic leather and had swallowed the director's wallet whole. The courtroom scene was a masterpiece of absurdity. Pippin acted as his own defense attorney. Your Honor, Pippin addressed the judge, who happened to be Stone, still lurking on the base. I did not steal the credits. The witness did. You can't zien the credits. You can't zien. He pointed to the bionic reptile, which was currently sitting in the witness stand, wearing a small sailor's cap. This is an outrage, Grimsby roared. You can't put a lizard on the stand. I object, Pippin shouted. Barnaby has feelings. He had a very difficult childhood in the radioactive swamps of Delta 6. And look, Pippin offered the reptile a peanut butter nutrient bar. Barnaby opened his massive jaws.